I think we need to go to the basics sometimes, and usually something which comes to my mind when you ask such questions is the availability of information pertaining to this sector we are talking about. That's the starting point. In this country, I've seen that the biggest challenge we have is transparency. Many people, leaders, and the public tend to emphasize so much accountability, forgetting that accountability comes from transparency. Without transparency, you can't have this accountability. So most of these things we are asking ourselves are not available. For instance, there are very, very few Ugandans who by now know the time frame in which some of these activities being carried out in the Albertine region are being, scheduled. And when you talk of those aspects of getting guidelines to guide these activities, first and foremost, weighs the time frame. What is going on right now? Are the people aware of that? So we need to first of all go to those basics of getting the information to the people. I've seen a few studies here and there done on getting some of the comparative studies on refinery versus the pipeline, or a combination of the two, and their impact on socioeconomic and fiscal infrastructure in the country. But without having information on the ground on how, for instance, the stock of these environmental resources in the area, what are you talking about? When you do not have information on for instance, I've heard Tony talking about the pipeline, and right away he avoided answering your question. He doesn't even have an idea also himself about this pipeline thing, these options, where is it going to pass, and so we can't have a very reasonable and informative debate.
Like Ramathan says, they may appear as if there is not enough information about the oil and gas sector. In fact, there's a ton of information about the oil and gas sector. Go to the Petroleum Department's website. The whole graben is there, and the state of affairs, the geology, the laws, the rules of the game are on that site. There are several other Ugandan websites, including the local World Bank website, a couple of NGO websites that really, for those of us who do research, sufficiently track the oil and gas sector here in Uganda. So please don't shame us when you go out there and say there's not enough information about the oil and gas sector. You make it your responsibility to learn what is really happening.
We in academics are taught one thing, that if you want to deny someone information, you give him too much information, which is not condensed. Which is not condensed. Don't publish, in other words. Just chunk out information. It's not edited, not published in a way which can be easily consumed. And this is exactly the disease in the oil sector. There is too much scattered information here and there. You ask these, you carry a random sample here. It's not that these are young people who are not very, enthusiastic about this. They are. But they are fed on a lot of uncoordinated information. And people want to make it so complex to understand, so technical, so international. No. This sector is supposed to be for the people of Uganda and take advantage of it.